Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. So if you're wondering why I'm in a different spot today, it's because I'm in my home studio, and this is where I do all of my floral arranging and things for my business and take a lot of pictures and videos against this backdrop. So I'm using this room because it's very gloomy in my house today, and this just happens to be the brightest room. Also, if you hear my cat in the background, she's not allowed in this room because I have plants in here, so please disregard any cat sounds in the background. So today I thought it would be fun to do a video just talking about some of my favorite things right now, things that I'm either using a lot or just really enjoying right now. I think that these are fun little time capsules of what I'm interested in and what I'm doing in a particular moment. So since I haven't talked much about my life on this channel in a couple of years, I figured I would just clue you in to all of my favorite things. So let's get into it. So first I want to just talk about reading and hobbies. So the book that I'm reading right now that I'm really enjoying is The Husbands by Holly Gramazio, and I want to mention this because I'm most of the way through it and am really gripped by it, and I'm really loving the writing style, and also just the premise of this book was really interesting. So I'll update and give more of an involved review at the end of the month, but I just wanted to shout this out because I'm currently loving it. Also, I did want to shout out Libby as something that I'm currently using a lot and loving. I've always been a big proponent of libraries. I worked in a library for several years, but I also really appreciate having access to an e-library like on Libby. My library system doesn't always have the niche books that I'm interested in, but often they will have those books on Libby. I don't have the selection that I did when I was part of New York Public Library and had a library card there, but now that I don't have access to New York Public Library, I still really appreciate the books that my library system does have to offer, especially through Libby. So I've been using my public library quite a lot recently, as well as Libby, and I've just found a renewed sense of gratitude for those organizations. So moving along to another hobby that I've been really loving lately, it's kind of the combination of journaling and scrapbooking and memory keeping, as well as like planning. So I have a couple of things that I'm using for that. The first is my new traveler's notebook. I've never had a traveler's notebook before, but I got this from a family member for Christmas, and it's starting to get worn in, and I love the look of it. I use this for a lot of things. It's kind of my command center for planning. I also kind of use one of the inserts as a junk journal, and I have a lined notebook at the back that I use for like lists and note-taking and things like that. I also added these charms to it that I found at a local shop. I have a monstera leaf, a little fox, and this is the chemical structure of caffeine. So like I said, I have junk journal pages in here. I also have a planner insert. I'm just showing you a page that doesn't have anything in it at the moment. So that's my traveler's notebook. I'm also using this handbook journal. I really like the company handbook. I've had a journal of theirs before for like a coffee journal, and I actually use this for like scrapbooking and memory keeping. So this was a page I made recently about a book shopping trip, and then I made a mood board in here for 2025. So I've been really loving doing scrapbooking and collage and memory keeping in this book, as well as in my traveler's notebook. Okay, let's move into talking about media. So we'll start with YouTube. So recently, my husband and I have really been enjoying a lot of binging with Babish, and I've been a longtime fan of this channel, but we kind of both started watching it again recently, and that's been really fun to watch. I've also been obsessed with Hannah Alonso's content. She's a YouTuber who does influencer commentaries as well as a lot of anti-MLM content, and since I'm really interested in learning about cults and MLMs and organizations like that, she's somebody that I really love to watch just because it's very informational, and I also think that her delivery is really enjoyable to listen to. I also have been watching a lot of Jack Edwards and Jack in the Books. He's just a great person to get book recommendations from, and he's just super honest about the books he's reading. He's also just a fun person to listen to. As for podcasts, I'm back to listening to Books Unbound pretty frequently. I was part of their Patreon a while ago, and then I kind of fell off of the whole community, and now I'm just really enjoying listening to the podcast again and hearing all the things that they have to say about books. I also think that they're really fun personalities to listen to. Getting into TV, I started Law & Order SVU from season 1 back in August or September, and now that it's February, I am in season 22, I believe, and there are 26 seasons total. So that is kind of crazy that I was able to make it that far. There are certainly a lot of cheesy and cringy aspects of it, and there are also some problematic aspects of it, which I fully understand and acknowledge, but it's a very fun show to watch, and I've gotten very invested in the main characters. The other show that I've been watching is Frog and Toad, because I did not realize that this show came out. It's on Apple TV, and I don't have Apple TV, so I'm sharing it with someone, but I finally am able to watch it, and it just makes my heart so happy because all the Frog and Toad books are some of my absolute favorite childhood reads. So it just feels really special and magical to be able to watch the show. Getting into music, I have a couple of people that I've been listening to quite a bit, but I'm really excited because in a few days, the Lumineers will be dropping their 5th studio album. They have released a couple of songs so far. They released Same Old Song, You're All I Got, and So Long, and I love all 3 of those songs, so I am just over the moon, so excited. By the time that I release this, the album will probably be out, so that's what I'll be doing, is just listening to the album on repeat. Favorite artists right now are mainly Noah Kahan, Hozier, Gregory Alan Isakov, who has my heart, and also Fleetwood Mac. So that's the media that I've been consuming and loving recently. Okay, let's talk about a couple of random miscellaneous products. The first is this incense by Maroma. It's the amber incense. This is my absolute favorite incense and one of my favorite scents of all time. And yeah, I burn it all the time. It's great, it makes my house smell really good, and I love it. Next, I have a hair care product, and that is rosemary oil. This particular one is from Soaps and Beyond, but really any rosemary oil. I have been loving rosemary oil for my hair. I can't speak to whether this would work for everyone, but I've found that the rosemary oil really helps maintaining my hair thickness. A couple of years ago, I noticed that my hair texture began to change, and I felt like my hair was a little bit thinner than it was when I was a teenager. So I started using the rosemary oil, and I feel like I have regained some of that texture that I'm used to. So I've been using this all the time. So continuing on with the sort of miscellaneous category, this mug is something that I got at an antique store, and I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it because I typically don't gravitate towards like red things, and also the shape is not like the best to pour latte art into, but I kept looking at it and I kind of came back to it, and it really is just this like perfect size and shape to hold. It's 8 ounces and it's the perfect size for a latte, so even though it may not be the best shape to create the optimal latte art, I still really enjoy pouring into it, and I really like the way that it feels in the hand, and I love drinking coffee out of this, so this is my new like favorite mug. So the final thing in my miscellaneous category are my new shoes that I got for Christmas from my husband, and those are my Birkenstock Bostons. These shoes were incredibly popular, and I think still are pretty popular, and they got really big on the internet to the point where they were sold out pretty much everywhere, and I wanted a pair for Christmas, and my size was completely sold out online, but I was in Lawrence, Kansas in late December, and I found a pair in my size in the color that I wanted on the shelf, so I was so excited. They're really comfortable, they go with a lot of different things, and I've been a Birkenstock person for years. I have all different styles of Birkenstocks, so they last forever, they're awesome and super comfortable, so I was so excited to receive these for Christmas. Okay, to wrap up this video, I want to talk about a couple of food and drink things that I've been really enjoying. So first, I've been absolutely loving my espresso machine. I've been primarily making espresso-based drinks for quite a while now. My favorite coffee to use in my machine recently has been this Brandywine coffee. I have a giant bag. So this is Orbital Motion, which is a washed Colombia and Ethiopia blend. So this is sort of a light to medium roast, and honestly, Brandywine is one of my absolute favorite roasters. I think they're out of Delaware. They do a lot of really experimental coffees with different types of processing, but they do have a couple of roasts that are more tailored to espresso, especially if you're trying to do milk drinks. You can drink it on its own, but it also pairs really well with milk, and I really wanted to find a coffee that paired well with all different kinds of milk drinks, and that was just a really good, stable, everyday type of coffee, and this is what I found for that. So I've been drinking a whole lot of this, and it's my favorite. So the next thing that I've been really loving for drinks is fresh squeezed juices. So I am really lucky, and I actually have a hand-me-down juicer. I actually just made a juice yesterday with blood oranges, apples, and beets, and it is delicious. I love beets in juice. I think that it's a really great vegetable to add to juice because it's really sweet and it brings a really beautiful color. And then lastly for drinks, my favorite kombucha of all time is this Hum kombucha, and this is the blackberry flavor. I really like most of their flavors, but the blackberry is just so good. This kombucha is not super strong. I'd say that it's sort of a beginner kombucha. So that is my other favorite drink. So that concludes my list of all the things that I've been loving lately. Let me know what you've been really enjoying lately, whether that's media, hobbies, products. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.